All right, everyone. So you've been experimenting with crocheting and you've learned how to make your slip knot and you've learned how to finger crochet maybe, and you want to move on to using your crochet hook. So I'm going to show you how to do a simple chain stitch, which is exactly the same thing that you learned how to do if you were finger crocheting, except now we're using this handy dandy tool, our crochet hook. Okay, so you want to make sure that the crochet hook that you're using is not too small. I have a size, maybe it will not show me. It's a size I or 9. Okay, so the numbers or the crochet hooks are labeled by letters, so they go up from like A to however big you need it. Okay, so I have my slip knot here to start, just like I would if I were finger crocheting, but instead this time I'm going to show you how I hold everything. Instead of putting this on my finger, we're actually going to use the crochet hook. So I'm going to put this through my slip knot, okay, and I want to do the same thing that if I was doing it on my finger. So I want to tighten it on there, but not too tight. I don't want it to be hugging this too much. All right, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the long end of my string, and I'm right-handed, so I hold the crochet hook in my right hand, but you could also do this in your left hand depending on what you want. So my short string kind of goes down this way and my long string is going to come this way. Now I'm going to use my left hand. I use these 2 fingers and I'm going to kind of like scissors. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to hold that long string in between them. Now I have 3 fingers left over, so I'm going to take those 3 fingers and I'm going to hold the short string just like this. And I find that the closer that you're holding the short string to this like slip knot, or as you're starting to get stitches, it's much easier. So, so that is kind of how you hold everything. All right. I've also seen, that's how I like to hold it, but you can also hold it by wrapping it around one finger like this and holding it with the rest of your fingers like that. Okay, if that's more comfortable for you, you can do that. Or if you come up with your own way to hold it, that's okay too. There's not really any rules as to how to do this. I'm just showing you the ways that I think are the easiest. All right, so I've got my my yarn all ready, and then what this is doing is it's leaving my right hand completely free to move the crochet hook. So this, my left hand doesn't really move at all during any of this. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm going to grab on to this yarn. All right, so if I were to try and pull through like this, it wouldn't work because, and my yarn would come off. All right, so what I'm going to do instead is this little step that I like to do is after I grab this, I twist my needle so that the hook is kind of facing down, and that makes it a lot easier to pull that string through that hole. And that's the same thing that you're doing and to create your crochet stitch if you were finger crocheting. Okay, so now I move my fingers up just a tiny bit so that I can get a better grip on this, but you're just going to keep creating that chain stitch. Okay, twist, pull through. Okay, so it's grab, twist, pull through. All right, so it's the same thing, just using this crochet hook. All right, and this is going to take you a little while to get comfortable with. All right, so tension of the yarn is a hard thing to learn, but once you get that kind of down and you get comfortable doing this part, then moving on to doing other crochet stitches is much easier. So so practice this. Just crochet a bunch of chains and that will help you learn. All right.